My name's Kanagy. I'm the CEO of SimpleSense. SimpleSense is a startup that works to connect disparate data sources. So like if you call 911, we connect that data at 911 with a local security team, Air Force Base, emergency response team, so that everybody has the same data at the same time during an incident. So when we started the company, I did the books myself. I have a little bit of a business background, so that was easy when we were really small. And then as we grew, we started to add employees. You know, there's lots of services now like Gusto that can handle payroll, so you can kind of start to automate things. But at a certain point, it starts to fall apart because you just don't have the time every month to pay attention to the books. So you put it off a couple months, and then you start to just get behind farther and farther. There's more and more work, and it becomes this big job at the end of the year. And so we looked for an accounting service to really help us keep up with that monthly work that was accumulating each month. With Bookkeeper 360, we really wanted somebody that could come in and work with us on a monthly basis. So the key is just not getting behind. Like, you have to stay up with the work every single month and make sure you're doing it in the right way. Otherwise it becomes overwhelming, especially as you're growing rapidly. So we wanted somebody to come in and be able to do that monthly work with us, tie all the different systems together that we use, make sure everything's working properly, consult with us on any issues we're having, and then just keep up month to month with the work that has to be done. So we checked out other providers that provide similar bookkeeping services to startups. What we found is that a lot of them required us to switch systems. So we had to switch to a different bookkeeping software or another kind of software to do payroll or something like that. And we really liked the tools that we were already using. So that's part of why we went with Bookkeeper 360, is that we could stick with the tools we were using, plus add some new ones and some new capability. But we didn't have to change a lot of what we were already doing. So you have all these automated systems that do a lot of things like payroll and bookkeeping, but you need smart people to actually tie them together and then do that maintenance work every month to keep all the data flowing back and forth and everything making sense. And so we like that model with Bookkeeper 360, is having a dedicated bookkeeper that works with us. The cost was right as well with Bookkeeper 360, so we had priced out several other options in addition to Bookkeeper 360. So SimpleSense is doing defense contracting work. So a big obstacle for us was that we needed to make sure that wherever our bookkeeping data was going was not leaving the country. We needed to keep everything in the US. So that was one thing that Bookkeeper 360 really helped with. Everything's based here at Long Island in New York. There are also other defense contracting requirements. And so in working with the Bookkeeper 360 team, they were things that they had already worked with other startups and kind of worked through. And so that helped us feel better about, this is a company that's gonna, even though we have these special requirements, they're gonna understand that and they're not afraid of that, and they can help us with those. So being able to stick with Xero was really big for us. That's the accounting platform that we love. Bookkeeper 360 is a Xero certified expert, and so they know the system inside and out. They were able to help us navigate some configuration and set up stuff that we weren't doing quite right. So the Bookkeeper 360 app is something that we use on a weekly basis. So just to manage our cash flow between all our different accounts, that view is really helpful. We sit down Monday mornings, we look at it, we make sure that we're okay in terms of cash projections, because that's something as a startup you really have to manage and understand, or you get in trouble. And so that's been really a helpful feature for us too. That's just kind of above and beyond just using Xero and Gusto and the other tools we use, but actually providing some intelligence, some analytics on top of everything. Bookkeeper 360 was a great option for us in terms of knowing that the books are done, they're done right. Bookkeeper 360 is handling our taxes as well this year, and so everything's kind of handled in one place. It saves me a lot of time. I don't have to worry about whether or not it's done, and the cost is very affordable too. I think the biggest thing for me with Bookkeeper 360 is just the time savings. And so I don't have to spend the time that we were spending in-house to deal with all of these bookkeeping issues. We as a startup are not going to be the best at doing bookkeeping. And so having somebody who is the best at that means that we don't need to bring those skills in-house. We can rely on somebody else. It just saves us time and energy. Yeah, I mean, the one comment I would make about Bookkeeper 360 is I wish I had done it sooner. I had taken on the books myself, and then we started to scale, and it started to be really too much for us to handle. And so I really should have just switched over much sooner to using Bookkeeper 360 because of the peace of mind that it brings, the time savings, and just allowing us to focus on the work that we need to focus on.